the chair of the Association of Licensed Telco Operators of Nigeria, Engineer Mbonu, has put out an op-ed essentially talking about the need for the telecommunications players to raise prices. And he has put this, of course, in an op-ed where he says that the business environment has become pretty challenging for the Association of Licensed Telecommunications Operators of Nigeria, and it is essential that they raise prices. Here's one quote from what he said. He says, while the digital innovation in Nigeria is enabling exciting new possibilities, there's a tendency to focus on those opportunities to the detriment of the core infrastructure on which he rides on. And he says the costs to maintain that infrastructure are rising, but unfortunately, regulatory barriers will not allow the telcos to raise prices. He also, of course, says that it is clearly understood that there's a cost of living issue, crisis in Nigeria, but the telcos also have to survive. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu joins us to discuss further. Chika, good morning to you. Thank you so much.
Morning, Rotus. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
How did you get to work today? Did you trek?
I walked, yes.
Same thing, yeah. I had to trek from Falamo, long distance to the studio. But
fuel issues.
Nigerian, sadly,
yeah.
They told us that this may last for about 2 weeks.
It is, and then the weather is hot to add to that.
Hot, man. You can see I'm sweating like a pig.
Chika, you're welcome. Thanks
thank
for
God.
joining us.
Meter asset providers.
Yes.
I know. It looks like 1 week, every week there's a news in electricity in Nigeria.
Indeed.
And yet we don't have the power. Everything has to do with regulation, increase in prices, stumbling block somewhere there. The last time it was, by the way, are you banned what?
Yeah, I'm apparently
and then I think this is 419 because I've calculated I'm supposed to be band A and I never have light more than 10 hours in a day.
Wow.
So but yet they're collecting band A prices.
Wow.
One of the major problems that has been in the electricity value chain has been how to generate the power. Sell it, and for the discos to retail it and be able to collect the revenues.
Right.
The right, pricing, the right revenue. And so there have been a lot of self-help by the discos. When of course the estimated billing.
Right.
Estimated billing has been the bane of the electricity value chain in Nigeria because a lot of people have complained that the fact that they have a small kiosk, and the next time they're giving them 100,000 naira bill in a month,
right?
Which has no bearing to the electricity consumed by them. So the meter program was very, very critical, and it's gone through so many cycles in Nigeria, just like the typical Nigerian thing.
Of course,
you can imagine Ajokuta still. We were still talking about completing Ajokuta skill almost 50 years after.
Exactly.
Lagos Ibadan Expressway completing it. So. In the meter program Nigeria has been gone through so many cycles, so many government initiatives. But it tells you one thing, that each time that you have government controlling things,
right,
trying to moderate prices, regulate things, it generates scarcity because the value chain does not develop to go and bring those products, the right quantity that be sold to people, freely available.
Right.
So let me put it this way, that the initiative of deregulating this meter prices for the discos is good. I would like it.
Yeah.
Because we say the price of every commodity, you hear me say here every time, is determined by the supply and the demand.
Exactly.
He assumes that the supply is free, available, so that buyers will have a choice as to buy the one they want. And there are different classes of meters. So the era of the discos, dumping a meter that's meant for a massive Dangote refinery in your house is gone.
Right.
So now you can actually pick up the right meter for your one-bedroom apartment or duplex that you have. That's one thing that will come out from this. And hopefully, with competition, the prices will moderate and let the meters be available in houses. What happens when a lot of people go through the eye of a needle?
Yeah.
I personally had an experience to get a meter. You pay official prices and pay unofficial prices to never get a meter. But hopefully, with the free market that we have now, these meters be available. because it's just one of these. I mean, it's only difficult, it's only surprising in Nigeria for me when the simple things are very difficult for us to implement.
Exactly.
Because of the stumbling blocks that we put in there. And it permeates everything that we do. Each time you have a government regulating things, there's always a problem. And so this is good, and we hope that the meter asset providers will now be incentivized to go there and actually compete, provide the right quantities of meters, the right types of meters for the houses, and so the market can blossom. Now, having said that, again, just like most things in Nigeria, I saw the memorandum. It has issues of sanctions and penalties and monitoring. We hope that the monitoring will be done so that the people will not find a back way, like most Nigerians, to circumvent this procedure.
Yeah.
Because there used to be this theory that the discos liked the estimated billion.
Because
they were not really enthusiastic to push the meter policy. Because I would have thought that they would have been spearheading that policy, but it looks like some of them were profiting from the estimated billions. So they can just dump cost on people and that. So, but let this flower. Let government, regulate, monitor.
Yeah.
Comply with the segments of the policy that says you must have minimum of 2,000 meters before you can bid, and so on and so forth, so that the consumers will have peace. So that at least at the end of the day, I do believe that if done properly, the discos will have a certainty in their income instead of this estimated billion that are less contested.
Right. Thank you for that. I do want to get your thoughts on the telcos situation and the op-ed from the engineer.
I think Mr. Is he Ifeta or whatever? I don't remember his first name.
Yeah.
The Alcon president. I saw the write-up that he did, and when it sent to me, I said, "Oh, this must be a pontification to increase prices for us." The telecom industry is a very critical sector of the economy. Indeed, as we know now, as he said in this article also, our life revolves around telecom, telecommunication, and everything that we do, the digital economy, the e-commerce economy, even the universities, the school, everything that has to do with the e-commerce, digital economy, digital schools, medical, everything relies on the backbone of the telecom industry. And so we don't want them to die. We don't want them to die. But having said that, I have some things to add. Of course, somebody will say that there has been a general increase in price in the economy. Therefore, that's the reason enough for everybody who is operating the economy to, increase their prices.
Yeah.
So, but I can say one thing here that, let me not be socialist, because I'm always saying that
you're a capitalist.
Yeah, I'm a capitalist. But they should do this with moderation.
Yeah.
Because this is a sector that has actually, profited handsomely from Nigeria. I know one of the two telecom companies. They were not number one in the originating countries.
Right.
The Nigerian market made them number one.
Yeah.
I did some casting of their results, and I saw the growth of the revenues year on year, the growth of profit year on year, and they've been declaring massive dividends, sending money to their home countries, and so on and so forth. So this year, 2020, they just had a loss, and suddenly the conducive users like us must bear the brunt of that.
Right.
And the loss for the key ones, especially the non-originating Nigerian ones, were driven by foreign exchange losses.
Right.
And so for me also, they should look at their business models. I am aware that some of their pricing of their key elements, like the towers and so on and so forth, are dollar-based. They're dollar-based.
Yeah.
So, but these are operating in Nigeria and the Nigerian businesses. So we must find a way, they're looking towards, to see how they can Nigerianize a lot of the operation and reduce the issue of services provided in Nigeria being billed in dollars.
Right.
And therefore, the accounts payable in their balance sheet and all those stuff are provided in dollars. That's why this kind of happened. So the obligations are accrued in dollars. And that way, when there's a devaluation, it affects it leads to this exchange loss.
Yeah.
So they have to look inward. But most importantly, as I end this, is so a lot of costs are induced by government actions, multiple transactions, regular and damaging vulneration of the infrastructure, regulatory compliance. All these things should not be passed on to the consumers.
Right.
Multiple taxation, there have been issues about right-of-way charges between the state levels. The federal government charges you, the state charges you, local government charges you, and so on and so forth. These things can actually be, organized, and so you don't pass on the costs to the consumers.
Right.
That's some of the costs that are triggered off by this kind of government actions. They should not be, they should negotiate with the government. The government should intervene and make sure that multiple taxation is reduced, more security for the infrastructure. So all those costs shouldn't be passed on to consumers.
Yeah.
So my point is they should analyze their cost structure, identify for us those things that are triggered by, the general increase in price in the economy. We can talk about that. But when it's multiple taxation, when it's infrastructure breakdowns, when it's government policies, complex government policies, those ones automatically should not be passed on to consumers. That is, the government and them should negotiate and then moderated in the interest of the economy.
Well said. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu, thank you so much for talking to us about the meter pricing deregulation and also the situation facing the telcos in Nigeria. Appreciate your time.